Hello and welcome to the KSW Euro V8 Supercar Series live on Apex Racing TV. I am Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me in the commentary booth is Marco Barbner and Sam Kume on the cameras. And this is round one of the season. And what a season we have in store for us. 10 rounds of the championship, and it all starts here in Great Britain. 2 races for you tonight. We've got a sprint race, should last about half an hour, and then the feature race later on, which should last about an hour. Marco, we saw an awesome championship decided last season with Michael Avdoka clinching the championship over Johnny Brandon, but there are so many more competitive drivers in the championship, not just joining us, but last season as well. You look at the grid out there, and we have no idea who's going to be taking home that championship in December.
Absolutely, it's going to be a great season. Good evening, everybody. Once again from Silverstone. We've been here a lot on Apex Racing TV, and finally it's the V8's turn to have 2 races here, like you said, 12 laps the first one and 20 for the second, with a mandatory stop. And of course, we will bring out our good old wheel for the reverse grid in the second one. It's a new season, you're right, the defending champion, sporting car number 1, Michael Avdoka, but he's got a long list of rivals that will probably fight him until the end of the championship come November. But before we start, today I think we have to take a little bit of a step back and observe, I think, in silence as the drivers will perform a parade lap in honor of the late father of Pete Bingham. Fred Bingham has been one of the, I think, the biggest fan of the series. He sadly passed away earlier in the week, and Sam, the drivers, will perform a parade lap in his honor right now at the beginning of qualifying.
Yeah, it's terrible news to hear. What happened to Fred? Yeah, lost his battle against cancer, I think, a few days ago. And I think the Phantom 71 cars will be running stickers with prayers for Fred on them. And yeah, it's great to see such a tight community that this is coming together to pay their respects. And of course, we also hope Pete and his family our best wishes. And it's also a great touch that Peter is leading the field round currently. Also great to see, so many drivers out there, 31 drivers, and yeah, great to see them all paying their respects to Fred. great to see all the drivers paying their respects to Fred Bingham. And it does kind of put stuff into context, of course, into perspective. But yeah, we're certainly wishing Pete the best of luck out there as the drivers start qualifying.
So that was impeccably observed, I have to say, and it was very touching, even if I didn't know him, and it was poignant to see all the cars and all the message on the cars, and of course we had a picture of Fred on our live streaming. And I think that, Sam, we can begin and talk about this new season, like you said. It is a new season, new drivers, old faces, new faces, and of course a simplified version of the rulebook concerning the championship, because we have the overall championship, everybody is eligible for that, and of course you have a new championship called the KSW Championship, and you can the main championship is the KSW Cup, which is the new title sponsor of the championship, and then we have the club championship, the cars that have the yellow banner. And there's if I can explain quickly, basically this is a secondary championship for drivers that have never placed 5th or higher in a race with 20 or more cars starting said race. And of course also you have to need to have add a minimum of 50% race weekend participation in the previous season. Of course, if you race are in the hunt for this championship, you can also win the more important KSW Cup, which is the overall championship. Of course, getting one of these top 5 finish in this season will disqualify you for next season club championship. So basically, this is a championship for, I wouldn't say a privateer championship, but more of a gentleman championship, as if to say these guys that maybe are not always fighting for the wins will have a chance to have something to play for, Sam. Of course, we know with the reverse and all that stuff, it's going to be interesting to see how many drivers at the end of the season will qualify for next season club championship, of course.
Yeah, we've had a similar system in previous seasons. Last season, we had the club championship. I think the problem with that was that, of course, Johnny Brandon and Michael Abdulka qualified for it, and they went on to win both championships. And that's not because they were necessarily slower. I think in season 3, that was just because I think they were like rookies or something, and finished below a certain level in the standings despite showing very good pace. So now, that club championship, just gonna name the names in it who are taking part in this race: Clyde White, of course, league organizer; Richard Warmingham, watch out for him, he's gonna be fighting for because he won the first race at Montreal last week; Peter Bingham, Jose Borges, Bill Switzer, Michael Frost, and Anthony Woodward. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good championship. Those guys, of course, no disrespect to anyone out here, but probably not going to be fighting for the overall championship, but certainly will be able to take home some glory, hopefully. Chris Jackson currently on pole position. Of course, he looked so strong at Montreal, didn't he, Marco? I'd say he was the driver who impressed me more than anyone else. Also, in the endurance race at Road America that we had, of course, him, it was Abdulka, him, Foggy, and Klusman, all super evenly matched. And I think Jackson, considering that he didn't win a race last season despite doing every single round, he's taken to a whole new level, I think, for this season.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about, what I was talking about in the beginning. Abdulka might be the champion, but he's got a long list of potential opponents, and this is the beauty of this championship. And of course, reverse grids, and what I always say, the thing I really like about this championship, just like the real V8 or just Supercar championship, is the variety of events. There's triple headers, double headers, enduros. You can have everything, and all the drivers can shine in their preferred discipline. Are you a sprint race driver that goes pedal to the metal for 11 laps? You have your races. Are you more of a tactical genius and prefer to have a smaller stop in the feature race? You can do that. We'll see that today in the second race. Or are you an endurance master? And of course, if you win an endurance race, you bring home points that are basically all the weekends have the same amount of points available at the end of the weekend. So if you win an endurance race, it's like winning 3 sprint races, for example, or winning a sprint and a feature race. So there's something for everybody, Sam. And the beauty of this, every 2 weeks, starting today until the 24th of November, when we will have the final race of the season at Brands Hatch Indy, my favorite layout of them all. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, the Christmas special from non-championship race to say Merry Christmas to everybody at Watkins Glen. But it seems to me so strange to think about Christmas being that here it's like 35 degrees even at this time of the day. So I think we can concentrate on this meeting today. 2 races at the Silverstone GP layout. Once again, sprint race and feature race, mandatory stop in the second one. The first race is afternoon, the second race is late afternoon, so the track temperature will be a little bit different. The reverse, of course, will come into place. We have a fast repair, and I have to say, at the end of all of this, I am almost embarrassed to say this, but I'm expecting a bounce back from the defending champion, Michael Evdoka, because he had a terrible, terrible day last week at the media day. Yeah, great qualifying in the first race, crash in the second corner, second race disconnected in the first lap, third race didn't even start. What do you think about this, Sam? Will Michael bounce back today? Does he have something to prove with number 1 on his car?
Oh, I don't know. I chat to Michael quite a bit. I've chatted to him a little bit in the past week or so, and he's going a little bit frustrated with this V8 car, and I don't think he feels the pressure whatsoever. I don't think he necessarily drives around with a with necessarily thinks of it as a a championship badge. I don't think he feels that pressure necessarily. He's just entering this series as he would normally do, and is really hoping to take away the championship game. But he realises, I think, there's going to be a massive effort, because last season, him and Brandon and Klosterman, remember Klosterman had an injury for the first half of last season, which really derailed his hunt. But him and Brandon, Evdoka and Brandon, were so evenly matched, and it took a few incredible drives from Evdoka to clinch the championship in the end. So, yeah, long answer, but I don't think he is going to feel the pressure. And will he bounce back? I think Montreal's a weak circuit. I say a weak circuit. It might be a weak circuit for him, but it's a unique circuit. And this is a bit more, I don't want to say generic, but it's a bit more kind of back to bread and butter, I think, for him. And I think he will be strong once again, and he's currently in P2 in this qualifying session. So, yeah, I think he is going to bounce back. I don't think he's necessarily going to win both races today, but I think at the very least he's going to get at least 1 podium.
Yeah. Also, one driver I really like, and a driver that sadly I haven't had the chance to watch that much, because basically I think he had to retire from the championship after the Bathurst round last season because of a hardware issue with his steering wheel, is Domen Gantar. And I think he's a very clean, consistent driver. He is also very, very fast in the GTE car, so we see him regularly on our Wednesday night broadcast of the iRacing Le Mans series. I am glad that he is back. He's now sitting in P2 in the qualifying. And it could be a dark horse for this championship, Also, we have Foggy. It's, I think, the most open and wide open championship we have here on Apex Racing TV. Everybody can win, basically, in the top. There's like 8 or 9 drivers that can bring the cake home at the end of the season. Speaking of the season, let's quickly remind you of the calendar once again. Every 2 weeks we are live every Saturday. On Saturday. We start with this race here at Silverstone, then we head to Japan for Okayama, and the schedule I have says it's the short layout, so that's gonna be fun. A triple header. Then we have for a double header sprint and feature like today at Detroit Belle Isle, very interesting. Then we go to a completely different track, enduro at Spa-Francorchamps. Then a couple of sprint and features, one at Phillip Island and one at Road America. Then we go back to a super sprint format for Summit Point. In October we have a double header at Laguna Seca, an enduro of course at Mount Panorama. In November, double header at Sebring, and then the triple header to finish the season at Brands Hatch Indy. And I have to say that Brands Hatch Indy is like the perfect track to have the season finale. Also, reminds me a lot of Oran Park, where we had the season finale last season, and in one of those tracks, especially in the Indy configuration, Sam, that can lend itself to all sorts of surprises, but all in all it's a beautiful calendar because we go basically all over the world in all different track situations. I'm glad that we still have a road course. We had Long Beach last season, we have Detroit this season, and I think it's going to be a tough challenge, this road track for these cars. I really can't wait for all the races to unfold, and I mean, good job to the organizers because it's a very well thought calendar, and again, all the drivers can shine on their favorite race format and favorite tracks.
Yeah, it's that variability which I think really does set this series apart from anything else, I think. And we've got one more super sprint, as Marco was going through there. Of course, we've got 3 super sprints this season, which is awesome. It's just every weekend is different, and of course Belle Isle. Wow, that's going to be interesting. Hopefully we get another 30-car field. I remember at Long Beach we had a slightly smaller grid. I think we had like 20 cars or something, which was a little bit disappointing, I think, because, when you got 30 cars on a street circuit, that's going to be insane. And Detroit's so difficult to overtake around. That's going to be a massive challenge. And of course with the reverse grid as well, the drivers are going to have to make overtakes. So that's going to be absolutely legendary through there. The super sprints, of course, we've got them at Okayama Short. That's a unique circuit. Summit Point, unique circuit, and of course Brands Hatch Indy, and that's going to be a massive challenge. So, and the endurance races, of course, Spa and Mount Panorama, and of course that last season we saw awesome strategy. It was right on the edge of a 2-stopper or a 3-stopper at Suzuka last season, where Johnny Brandon managed to take the race victory ahead of Nicole Foggy, his teammate, by less than a tenth of a second. And yeah, that's going to be awesome out there. It's just going to be, absolutely fantastic out there. We are so looking for this. Is pretty much that we don't want to be biased, of course, me and Marco, but this is pretty much our favourite series, I think. And it should be absolutely fantastic to watch. Currently, Johnny Brandon is on pole position. Of course, you were talking about Doman Gantar last year, a moment ago, Marco. And last season, he failed to get a race victory, but led the championship, at least not considering the drop rounds, for about the first 4 or 5 weekends, I think. He barely had a bad race, and then he had a couple of off races, and then, of course, had that hardware issue. And he's currently on the front row. One thing he does need to improve on, though, and I think is so important to this series, is racecraft. And Doman doesn't get himself involved in incidents, but he needs to be a bit more decisive with the moves against his championship rivals. If he can get that, I don't see any reason why he can't be the champion.
I distinctly remember this thing you just said was basically, I think, the first thing you said to me during my very first broadcast at Mount Panorama last season. Talking about Doman, the fact that he's so consistent, but sometimes he's a little bit shy, which works good because it gets, you are penalized if you get too many incident points, and also there's a special classification for the cleanest drivers. But yeah, it also can work against you, because if you're always running on the defensive or giving away positions easily or not attacking, you risk losing, of course, precious points that will add up towards the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, the gaps in almost 2 minutes track in this qualifying session are minuscule because we have Brandon and Gunter basically, and Evdoka and Jackson all very, very close to each other. Only 30 seconds to go, so not a lot of time left for these drivers to get their final lap in. Of course, remember that we can get a couple of minutes of buffer time between the checkered flag and the official end of the session, so drivers who are on a flyer can finish their lap. But I think that the starting grid is more or less set. We are waiting for a couple of drivers to finish their lap, and then finally we can start this season. And I can tell you once again, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Montreal was fun, but now the races come for real, so it's amazing, Sam. Can't wait.
It's gonna be so good, isn't it? And of course you mentioned the off tracks, and that is going to be so important. That well, in the end, Evdoka had enough points in hand anyway, but crucially, if you get 10 incidents in this series, you get 10 points deducted from your total, I think. And then if you get no incidents in a race, you get a bonus 10 points. So for every 10 incidents, you get 10 points taken away from your total. If you get no incidents, you get 10 bonus points, and that's really going to be important. Evdoka really used that to his advantage, and actually Taliancic, who we are very thankful is in the field today, currently in P9. Those two, that factor was absolutely fundamental to their championship victory. They both won the Safe Driver Award, so there's a strong correlation there, and those points you cannot afford to throw away. And I think of everything, Marco, I think that's going to be the thing that Johnny Brandon is going to think of most, the thing that he's going to try to rectify the most, because apart from that, he was pretty flawless last season, but that's the one thing that he can clearly improve, I think.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. I think we only have 1 minute left. Taliancic on camera right now, finishing his lap. He gains some positions. Yeah, he's now stuck in P6, and I think that's it for him, of course, because he took the checkered flag. Here comes Kip Stevens.
I did see him in the series.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised when I saw his name in the timing sheet a little bit before. Of course, a regular of the BSR. I think he's fairly new to this car, sitting in P29. We got a couple of three drivers without time. It's Bengalite, Dave Jansen, and Erwan Woodstra. These guys will start from the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, this for Kip, because pretty much everyone that I've heard about from this car, Michael, also Josh Thompson, who unfortunately isn't going to be doing this season. The reason why he's not doing this championship is because this car takes so much work to get competitive in. You can't afford to, just do it on the side with all the other stuff that Josh does. You've got to dedicate so much time to it that if you're not fully within it, then there's really no point. And Kip, it'll be fascinating to see him improve through the season. We have got the first grid up for you of the season. Johnny Brandon on pole position by 100th of a second over Damon Gantar, who set 2 times within half a hundredth of each other. Absolutely incredible. He's consistent, Michael Evdoka starts in third with Chris Jackson fourth. Tony Klusman will be a bit disappointed with that. Fantastic qualifier. He only starts in fifth though. Michael Taliancic, season 3 champion, in sixth with Dominic Soricki in seventh. Really good from him. Then it's Nicole Foggy, starts in 8th. You'll be a bit disappointed with that, with Jamie McKnight. Watch out for him in 9th, only 7/10 of pole position, and he's there in 9th place. Absolutely incredible. Victor Morijan, never seen him before. Fantastic to have New Jersey in the series. He starts in 10th with Anthony Woodward in 11th, and behind that, Richard Birmingham, Guy Croft, JP Boosland, Peter Bingham, Nikolai Bogotayev, Raul Ruiz, Clyde Whiting, Jose Borges, Samuel Buzin, Dominic Sori, Lane O'Connor, Richard Dempsey, Michael Frost, Greg Branch, Brogan, Pickett, Norris, Ujo to Series, David Fielder, Bill Switzer, Kip Stevens, Ronald Moons, Dave Jansen, Ben Gielitz, and Erwin Woodster starting in 33rd position. We have a couple more drivers to get onto the grid, actually. A few more than that, actually. So we'll just have a quick word with you, Mark. Yeah, he's going to win this.
Johnny Brandon, taking the easy way. Easy way out today with the poleman. Sorry,
you were right on Sunday.
Okay, but I...
here we go. Engines will rise here. Johnny Brandon from the pole position, and away we go. Not a good start whatsoever for Ganto. He's already lost out to Abdoka, and he could lose a couple more positions. I think that's Jackson and Klusman as well, ganging up on Ganto, who's had an awful start. He's down into 5th position now. Talyancic still in 6th place. He could lose up to Sawicki though. Abdoka, Jackson, Klusman, all up a position. Going through Mackets and Beckets now. Sawicki just about holding off Talyancic. He's gone down to 7th then. And not too many incidents out there at the moment. I can see Morjan there trying to gain a position. We've got a couple of the ASIA racing drivers side by side, Buzan and Sori as well. And coming down into Stowe, how are they going to play this one? The two teammates going to go through as well though is Richard Dempsey, new driver to the series, and he's I think going to go through as well. Good move from him. And Foggy losing out, I think, there. So not an awesome start for Foggy, down into P9. He really needs to improve from that position.
Yeah, this is exactly what Evdoka wanted. As Bingham is in the grass, no major damage for him. I think this is a replay. Always great work behind the cameras from Samuel Kumo. Locking, I think, the car and then going into the grass. No damage for him, so he is back on track. I was saying Evdoka must be very happy because he managed to get into P2 and Jackson right behind him, Klusterman, Gunter down in P5, so yeah, maybe a little bit of rust trying to start the car. Not always easy to start these cars if you are not used. You have to move a lot of weight and they tend to be a little bit sluggish if you miss your clutch point basically. Evdoka not giving up on Brandon, of course. These two drivers are back at it once again this season, and Jackson and Klusterman and Gantar are right behind them, so it's going to be, and also I think Sawicki is right there, so it's going to be a nice battle for the lead in this race. Only 12 laps, so if you want to make your move you have to be pretty quick about it.
Yeah, this is Sawicki's second ever official day in this series. Absolutely awesome from Dominic. He's going to be one to watch out for, if not now, by the end of the season, I think, for GTL VRT. Driving absolutely superbly at the moment in 7th position. Actually dropping Michael Talyancic just behind. I didn't expect that. Talyancic got overtaken by Sawicki on the first lap and actually struggling to keep up. But we were talking about how it's not going to be Brandon and Evdoka dominating. They are currently leading the race, and I realise they're not dominating, but shows the class of those two drivers, and Michael Evdoka is so close. And I must say, Marco, it's just awesome to see such a competitive field. Top 9 separated by 4 seconds.
Yeah, and in such difficult cars, and all the great names we already talked about. Evdoka keeping very close tabs on Brandon, 0.3 of a second. We see Foggy in P9. I mean, Foggy is an amazing driver. He's in P9. So this is to show you the quality of the field. Trying to get around Jamie McKnight in P8 car 027. Talyancic is right in front of them. Basically a long snake of cars from P1 until P9. Then a little bit of a gap to Anthony Woodward. Another fastest lap of the race for Johnny Brandon, 50.72. Evdoka 50.75. There's nothing in it between these drivers. The two guys behind him are 0.86 and 0.87. So all lapping really close. Of course, being in each other's draft is helping. Foggy trying to get a good exit here on Angar Straight to maybe go for a pass.
Yeah, Nicole Foggy, undoubtedly one of the championship favourites. You've got a poem tied maybe with, with Brandon and Dr. Johnny's been very complimentary of his teammate. And we saw the class of Nicole Foggy at Suzuka last season where he should have really won the race if it weren't for him, unfortunately, being on the slightly wrong strategy. And at Montreal, he was also very strong, I think, taking away a race victory. Hasn't taken away a race victory in a proper race meeting though, and David Fielder makes contact with an ASEA driver, Dominic Sori. Those drivers were so close early on, and they have made contact down at Stowe.
Yeah, another car in the grass.
Another one as well.
Yeah, well, the contact with Dominic Soare was a little bit hard, but I think he just put the car onto wheels, and that was that, maybe. Let's see the replay. Yeah, hopefully no suspension damage. And then, coming into the braking area here, I can't identify that driver. It's car number 93. So it's
Bill Switzer.
Bill Switzer, yeah. Went into the grass and back onto the track once again. So no harm, no foul, just a couple of lost positions. As Tony Klusterman here on the outside of Chris Jackson.
Team game slightly there between those two. Klusterman is clearly feeling like Klusterman has a slightly better chance at catching up, and actually Jackson's going to be under pressure from Gansar here, and you can just losing the momentum there, Jackson, and it could be really costly. Now, how close is Doman Gansar to the back of him? Down the inside goes Gansar into Stowe corner. This is what we were talking about. He needs to improve on, and he has improved on, but how can he make it? He's going to have the inside for the next corner. Jackson all over the place trying to apply the power. Gansar going to have the inside once again. This is the line you want, but he just backs out of it. And yeah, that's what we were talking about. And to be fair, Gansar gave it a very good go into Stowe, despite having the opportunity just to stay in behind.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact between the two drivers, but they both managed to behave well. And yeah, I think Gansar having the inside there was good at the chicane, but sometimes I've been seeing this week on BSRTC here, and I saw most of the times the guy on the outside having a better run, and now Sowicki is getting into Gansar as well. So once again we are back talking about the flow, the ebb and flow of the race. You are attacking 1 second, defending the other second, so you really need to be careful when you go for a pass, because sometimes you can lose much more than your potential gains. And there's a huge queue of cars now behind Gansar.
Yeah, it's actually spread out in the kind of the top 4 drivers or so, but this pack is just really condensed. Morgan, unfortunately, can't really get onto the back of these guys at the moment, at least. Staying in behind, and actually he's lost out a position to Boosterland and Woodward. So Morgan, he's had a big issues, and he's going to lose 3 more positions. That's 5 positions. And the Phantom 71 car of is that Boosterland, I think, just holding off Woodward. Yeah, so Boosterland at the head of this train. There's pretty much 2 battles going on: the battle for the top 9 and the battle for 10th place.
Yeah, also Brandon and Toka are really close. Boosterland now, we are watching from the back of his car, has to defend the outside from Woodward. Birmingham will try to stick his nose in, maybe. Oh, Boosterland has got the outside, almost 3 wide. And he has to yield, so now this time the outside didn't work, but watch out, because Birmingham has got a great run coming out of the corner.
Yeah, Woodward now the leading club driver. Birmingham will not want him to get away. JP Boosterland is not a club driver because he won a race at Lime Rock, and I'm sure he will not let people forget about it. It was an awesome drive from JP Boosterland, one of the shocks of last season, and that's what this series is really about. But he'd be happy with 10th place at the moment, and down the inside goes JP Boosterland, but he just backs out of it in the end. Tried to go for the move on Anthony Woodward, but in the end just settles in behind. behind these guys, you got Woodward, Busalan, Warmingham, Morgan, Croft, Ruiz, Bogataya, Whiting, and Borges isn't too far behind either. And going a little bit off the check there is Busalan. And here is the battle kind of for the top. Well, this is for 22nd position currently. Actually 21st, sorry. So we've got Fielder, Branch, Dempsey, and O'Connor, and Sori just behind as well. So O'Connor a little bit out of position. Strange to see him this far down. He struggled at Montreal. I kind of expected Lane to be a little bit further up, but maybe not getting too much time in the car, because does run the BSR series, the World GT and the BSR Grand Tour, which will be on at 19:15 GMT tomorrow. And O'Connor can't formulate a move at the moment.
Yeah, as we go back to the top guys, so Wiki, Italiancic in the shot right now. We see Gantar taking the chicane. Behind Italiancic is Jimmy McKnight, and Nicole Fogg is still stuck there, cannot make a move. It's difficult to make passes here if you don't have a consistent and very good run. You can try maybe for a dive bomb move here, but it's not always recommended. Of course, this being I'd say touring cars. Yeah, even if they are very powerful, they are still touring cars. You can get away with some door banging, but if you can avoid that, the better. As we see Foggy a little bit sideways getting into the final corner. As the three leaders are so close, Klosterman has gained a little bit on Evdoka in the past few laps, and now he's basically alpha second from Evdoka. Evdoka as well alpha second from Brandon. These three guys are having a little bit of a breakaway, Sam.
Yeah, the three drivers who won the most races last season. Brandon with 8 victories, of course came second in the championship. Evdoka got 5 victories, I think, got the championship victory, of course, and Klosterman got 6, I believe, and finished 3rd in the championship. So yeah, these guys certainly establishing their authority once again. And Jackson, I think, finished 4th in the championship last season as well, and he's currently in 4th position. So certainly staying close, keeping these guys aware. But at the moment, Evdoka not getting close enough, although it's going to take one mistake from Johnny, and Michael will be straight through.
Am I mistaken, or Brandon did switch from Holden to Ford?
Oh, maybe he has. Yeah, good spot.
Because I don't remember him driving a Ford. I don't remember a Ford being in the top of the pack last season.
No, me neither.
You know, I'm a Ford guy, so I was watching this. I mean, this livery is very particular. Then I noticed, oh, because the headlights. Oh, because it's a Ford. So good to see a Ford leading this race. I'm so happy.
The Holden's queuing up behind though. Klosterman on that last lap was 3/10 faster than Brandon, and Evdoka placed in by 2/10 on Brandon. Tyres shouldn't be an issue in this race. Could be an issue in the second race, although I think we'll come to that when it comes around. Actually lost a lot of time that last lap. 6/10 lost by Klosterman on that lap. The top 3 just spreading out a little bit, and actually Jackson was the fastest of all on that one.
Yeah, Klosterman as now we see Jimmy McKnight here.
Oh, he's onto the glass. Can he hang on to it? That's some save. But he's lost the position, and he could get a slowdown as well. Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah. Good car control, because he could have easily went going back on track and hit Foggy. He didn't. Great save. Of course, he will have to pay the price with a slowdown, and I think some damage to the underside of his car. Never a good thing to bounce your car in the grass so hard. As we see a replay right now. This is Lane O'Connor. Getting into a little bit of a contact there with Richard Dempsey.
Yeah, I think Dempsey actually let him back pass once he realised his mistake. So credit to Richard there for letting that one go. Ruiz just got past Borges, I think. But this one isn't over. Could be 3 wide going into this one. Well, that's Borges down the inside. Whiting trying to go through as well through the middle. And just behind and maybe profiting from this is Val Ruiz, but he couldn't quite make the move.
Yeah, good for these guys. They now they're all back.
Oh, he nudges him back the right way. And is he going to go through here? Who's on the outside there? That's Peter Bingham trying to profit from this. Down the inside goes Bingham. Whiting versus Bingham round this round Luffields, I think this is. And they're going to be side by side through Woodcut. We saw this so often in the BSRTC back on Thursday, and the outside line often worked better than the inside. Let's see which will work better this time. Whiting on the outside, Bingham on the inside. Whiting still trying to hang in there. Surely they're going to go single file through here. Whiting, I think, might be better just to back off, and yes, he has.
Yeah, also Clyde's car looking a little bit second hand, missing the left front fender and I think a little bit of his backside. As Klusterman is very very close on Evdoka, only 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, just lost a little bit of time through club, didn't he? He did get down to 0.3 of a second, but back up to 0.6. And seeing that Jackson let Klusterman pass earlier on, do you think there'll be an agreement where if Klusterman can't get the move done on Evdoka, he will swap back around?
Maybe. There's only... At the line there will be 3 laps to go, so there's not a lot of time left if they want to switch around once again and maybe try to attack P2, because right now Brandon... Now we have a replay, Samuel Bazin on camera right now, car number 2. Locking his brakes and going around in a very very bad position. Luckily no one was coming behind.
Yeah, it's incredible to see the definition between the different races going. It's almost as though there's, 3 races going on the top 9, and then we've got 10th to 20th. And then behind that, of course, we've got, Gregory Branch leading a pack for himself. So, yeah, surprising to see such divides, but yeah, it kind of shows the experienced the quick experienced drivers, the slightly less experienced, slightly slower drivers, and then the not so experienced drivers. A lot of them are rookies at the back of the field, just maybe a little bit off the pace, just because this car is so difficult to control. Sawicki needs to control this well. He's currently running in 6th place, which would be an awesome result for him in such a talented field. And he's got Season 3 champion Michael Taliancic just behind. And then he's got Nicole Foggy, one of the fastest drivers out there, and Jamie McKnight behind as well. But Sawicki, so far what we've seen of Sawicki, he doesn't feel the pressure, does he?
Yeah, he's a very good driver and he's holding his own. Taliancic is, of course, the former champion. He wants to prove himself after his previous season. He's not very aggressive right now. I think P7 should be good for him. He had a huge moment there, car going sideways, and now Foggy will try and gain 1 position for himself. Just as I said, as he wasn't looking very aggressive, he pushed a little bit earlier on the gas, the car jumped on him, he was able to save it, but now Foggy is closing in quickly.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tell how quick Foggy is, because he's just been stuck behind other drivers for the entire race. That last lap he did a 51.75, that is faster than the 2 leaders, but slower than Klusterman and Jackson and Gantar, so it's difficult to tell. But he got onto the grass, didn't he, under braking?
Yep.
Hasn't lost any time though. Well, he might lose a little bit of time on the exit, and he's going to lose it again. Nicole Foggy driving on the edge, clearly a bit frustrated out there, but let's say we have a 10-car reverse for the second race, he's going to be in a prime position. Yeah.
I was looking at the standings. Basically, we only have 1 car, 1 lap down. That's Richard Dempsey, who is now in the pits, so I think he has big damage. But apart from him, everybody is on the guys that took the start, is on the lead lap, as we see Evdoka under big pressure from Tony Klusterman.
Yeah, Klusterman tries to go for the move into Stowe, could not make it stick, and he's got some pretty decent drivers behind him. Jackson, Gantar, and Klusterman. Another 5 seconds back to Sawicki, so clearly a divide as well in this, but you can see top 5 all in one shot, and all 5 are very realistic championship contenders, so these points matter, and if they can possibly get away with no incident points, that would be awesome. And actually, I don't know if you can see our system, Marco, but according to our system, Brandon has not got a single off-track, unlike every other driver in the race apart from Sori. So, that could be 10 bonus points for him, and what an awesome first race of the season that would be.
Absolutely, just have to keep calm. You see the power of driving a Ford. You get less off tracks.
If you say so.
Final lap of the race, the white flag is in the air for these drivers. Brandon looking good.
Oh, wow.
Evdoka was sideways there, and Klusterman once again closing in on him.
Evdoka's going to really warm up those tyres if he's not careful. But at the moment, Klusterman's gone for the inside. I don't know what Klusterman was doing there. I don't know if there was a gap or something. I think that was just a misjudgment. And it's Klusterman sideways, pretty much down a straight. That is incredible. And Michael Evdoka, will he go defensive? Here is Klusterman. Needs to get a good run. Evdoka may be defending clean air there. Klusterman can't really get the run. Could maybe go for a dive into club corner. But he's not close enough once again. Needs to be careful from Jackson just behind, though I doubt the two teammates are going to take each other out. Has he got anything, Klusterman? No, he doesn't, I think. It seems like do that first part of the circuit, Klusterman is awesome, but then do this slower speed section, I think Evdoka's more got, has got the match and more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Very few chances left for Klusterman, but I think that Evdoka will maintain its second position, and most importantly, Johnny Brandon is closing in on the first race victory of the season, of course this being the first race of the year.
Oh, Klusterman's all over the place, but the driver who's not been over the place whatsoever is Johnny Brandon, and he's going round Woodcote now. This will be an incredible race victory. Johnny Brandon starts off Season 5 of the UV8 Supercar Series in perfect style. He takes the race victory here for the sprint race at Silverstone. Evdoka hangs on to second. He'll be pleased with that. Klusterman in third. Jackson fourth. What could Gantar have done? And Foggy got Taliancic right at the end. So Foggy, recovering after a poor qualifying and a poor start, ends up in P7, and an awesome try from Dominic Sawicki just ahead to get P6. It was that race was everything we expected and more, I think, Marco. Maybe we didn't see a whole lot of overtakes. That was probably the one thing we were missing out of the front battle. But if we didn't know it already, that race has proven how competitive this championship is going to be.
Absolutely. Can we have more of the same, please? And of course, we always know that the second race is always the best one because of the reverse. So it's nice that all these top drivers stuck together for the entirety of the race, and they are very close in the final position, because this means that they will have to battle together from the back, given a decent sized reverse, to get back to the front position. So it's going to be a very interesting race too, and I think we can go through the results right now.
Yes, we can, and it's Johnny Brandon taking away the first race of the season from pole to the checkered flag. Michael Evdoka finishes in second. He'll be pleased with that, holding off Tony Klusterman, who was let past by Chris Jackson in the end. Jackson, I don't know if he'll regret that a little bit, but you know, third and fourth, it doesn't really matter, 5 points either way. I'll bring that back up when of course Jackson loses the championship by 5 points at the end of the season. Damon Gansar finishes in 5th. What could he have done from the front row? He had awesome pace throughout, but was just stuck behind other drivers for the entire race. Dominic Sawicki, what a drive from him. I cannot commend this guy enough, because a new driver to the series, or at least a relatively new driver to the series, and he has beaten a couple of very strong drivers, including Nicole Foggy, who that's not how he wanted to start off the season. As P7 all day will be strong in the second race. Michael Taliancic ending up in 8th, and Jamie McKnight in 9th place. Then the top of the club championship was club championship runners. Anthony Woodward finishes in 10th overall, with JP Boostland in 11th. Then Richard Warbium 2nd in the club, 12th overall. Guy Croft finishes in 30th. Then it's Victor Morajon, Nikolai Bogataya, Jose Borges, Peter Bingham, Clyde Whiting, Samuel Busen, Greg Branch, David Fielder, Dominic Sori, Lane O'Connor, Kip Stevens, Michael Frost, Ronald Moons, Bill Switzer, Brogan Pickett Norris, Raul Ruiz, Richard Dempsey ended up 3 laps down, so will not be eligible for the reverse grid, and Dave Jansen, Ben Gielet, Erwin Woodstrup did not start the race. And Sam, I think we have the first reverse grid of the season. Yeah, just sorting out the wheel at the moment. Of course, yeah, we'll be.
I can confirm that Brandon switched to 4 for this season. That's what Dave Jansen is saying. So, for once, I was right. And Johnny, you already see the results of your switch. Yeah, these wheels the last couple of days are a little bit too anarchic for my taste. They are having maybe they are on strike. I don't know. We had to resort to the big wheel for the BSRTC the other day. Let's see what we'll hold for today. Of course, we have a chance of a pretty decent reverse because, like you said, Sam, only one driver will not be eligible for the reverse, and that is Richard Dempsey, who finished in P30. So potentially we could have a 29 car reverse. As all the drivers are waiting and waiting and waiting, and of course the tension is rising because everybody wants to know how will they be placed in the second race. And I, for the first time as well on Tuesday, I had this same emotion when I was running the MX-5s, waiting for the reverse. And I heard you guys, Sam and Alex Simpson, making fun of me when you.
We would not do something like that.
When you noticed that I was starting in the second row of the second race.
I don't know what I said, but you're
Alex.
waiting. Wait, was it Alex? Okay, nothing to do with me.
Yeah, Alex said something along the lines of this one is not going to be pretty when after noticing that I was starting in the second row.
You got to prove him wrong. You got to win next week, yeah?
To be fair, I held my own for most of the race, and then I made that little mistake, losing 15 positions in one corner.
Yeah, you were running what, top six?
Top 3. I was top 3, yeah. And then I made a little bit of a mistake. Of course, practicing on the right track next time will help.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't even know that layout existed. So I just didn't know it was a thing. And Yeah, the cameras didn't exactly work great out there because we've got some. Gonna have to check out the Okayama cameras for the Okayama short circuit because I can imagine they're going to be kind of rubbish. But yeah, it was a good old race. Do you know where it is next week? The BSR X5?
Yes, Sebring Club.
Oh, okay, that's the one I was. Yeah, that they have awful cameras. So yeah, that's not going to be a great broadcast. Don't watch that. Um, I guess I'll be. I guess I'll be back for that one. I guess.
Oh, more excitement.
Seven. Okay. Nicole Foggy. Wow, that move was important, wasn't it? Getting past Michael Talianchich, he's going to be on pole position. So I was talking about how he could be in a good position for the second race. He's going to be in the best position, on pole position, with Dominic Sawicki in second place. So Foggy could well make up a few points in that second race. Certainly catch us in about 15 minutes time for race 2 of the evening of the KSW V8 Supercar series.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the KSW Euro V8 Supercar series here at Silverstone for round 1 of the championship. We are gearing up for race 2 of the evening, and we'll be starting from pole position. It's Nico Foggy on pole position, Dominic Sawicki in second, Domen Gantar third, Chris Jackson fourth, Tony Klusman fifth, Michael Docker sixth. Race 1 winner Johnny Branton in seventh. That's Michael Taliancic, Jamie McKnight and Anthony Woodward starting in 10th position. We saw an awesome race in the earlier on, Marco, and so competitive out there. Going to be the same.
Yeah, with the added wrinkle of the mandatory pit stop, so it's going to be interesting. Full tank is 22 laps, the race is 24 laps, so we are going to see, I think, a lot of different strategies, and we go.
Here we go. Nico Foggy away. And Sawicki's got an awesome start. Foggy could be an issue. And Foggy's lost another position to Jackson, and he could lose another position, I think, to Klusman. It's an awful start for Nico Foggy, one of the championship contenders, as a lot of these front runners are. And it's an awesome start for Dominic Sawicki, leading a race for the first time in this series. Evdoka getting side by side with Foggy now. Just behind Evdoka is Gantar. He's lost the positions again. Needs to sort out these race starts, does Domen Gantar. Not a good start at all for him, but what a start for the NQR guys.
We see one of the SIA guys in trouble. I think it's Samuel Buzin. Let's watch the replay. Yeah, contact with the Phantom 71 car and massive damage to his right side of the car. So I think it's game over for him. Of course, we have a fast repair, so if he can, I don't know if he's good to go from now until the end of the race if he pits this early.
Could maybe make it with a lot of fuel saving. There is Johnny Brandon holding off Jamie McKnight and Domen Gantar. He's gone down 5 positions now. Gantar, who has been so good today, second in qualifying, showed excellent pace in the first race, but he's down to 8th already. What a difficult job this is going to be for Domen Gantar, who's yet to win a race in this series. And he's looking very unlucky at the moment, but Dominic Sawicki, another great start, but what happened to Foggy out there? Another terrible launch for him.
Yeah, 3 positions lost by Foggy, and well, sitting in P4, so he's still in contact with the leaders, but yeah, when you lose all that time on the start-finish line, usually there's something wrong with your start, and that is exactly what happened. But Sawicki, Jackson and Kusterman had a great start, and now Sawicki under pressure from Chris Jackson.
Here comes Jackson going into Cobb's corner, but he's not quite close enough, or is he? Sawicki just about holds him off, and I don't think they're going to be side by side going into Meckers and Beckers. Maybe they will be. Jackson looking right and left. Can't quite make the move though, and he's going to have to line it up with a hang straight, but there's no doubt that Sawicki is considerably slower than these two Never Quit Racing drivers just behind. Dropping back though is Jackson. He lost quite a bit of time there, and Klusman is right on his tail. Well, Klusman go for the move. In the last race, it was a let pass by Jackson. This time, I think Klusman is going to make it proper. Jackson on the outside. He's not going to give this one up. He's going to have the inside potentially for club corner. So if he can just hang out here, and Foggy is right on the tail, and there could be contact between the two teammates. We saw it at Montreal. We've almost seen it there again, but holding on to the position is Chris Jackson. Tony Klusman being backed up into Nico Foggy, and Michael Evdoka has joined the party, and he's going to be side by side now with Nico Foggy, heading down into the Abbey chicane. Let's see who's going to win this one. Late on the brakes is Foggy, and he can hold off Evdoka, surely, unless Evdoka can just go around the outside. Not quite.
And now also we see Johnny Brandon back in contention, basically, and the first 6 guys are all bunched up together, and maybe Jamie McKnight and Gantar can make their way back to the top of the pack if there's any more battling between the guys in front of them. Let's see if anybody goes for a quick pit stop. No, they all stay out.
Well, we think that if the drivers pit now, they can get to the end of the race. So that's going to be the question. Might well be worth someone like Domen Gantar, for example, who's right at the back of this chain. Maybe Michael Taliancic is at the rear of the chain. Maybe, or at least will be late on because Taliancic is very quick. But could well be worth Domen Gantar's risk to go into the pits now, get a bit of clear, get some clean tyres, because, yeah, from this position, it's unlikely that he's going to be able to trouble the podium positions.
Nicole Foggy had a massive moment coming out of Cops. He saved it, and now he's closing in on Klusterman. So a pretty amazing moment there. As of course we see Evdoka also closing the gap to car number 66. So we see who's gonna try the move first.
So far, staying very obedient are these drivers. Sawicki's still under so much pressure, we can't really... We've just got to watch all, 7 cars at the same time. Maybe the closest is going to be Foggy, going for a move on Klusma, perhaps into the Abbey chicane, but he's not peering out from underneath. And he is just staying behind for now. Evdoka looking racy though, but we know he is the master of race strategy and racecraft as well in this series. He's not going to put his car into somewhere that he doesn't want.
No, absolutely. I think that Jackson wants to make the move on Sawicki because he's looking very, very aggressive and trying to put his nose on the right rear of Sawicki's car. He has got a better exit here, car number 11. We'll see if he has enough. I don't think he has the run to make the pass here, also because it's very, very difficult to make a pass of Cops. But maybe if he can hang on here and then go for a pass on the Anchor straight, but you see Sawicki sideways coming out of the first corner. Oh, cutting the grass left and right.
Oh, he's going to the rear of him. Sawicki, can he hang on to it? Yes, he can. Jackson's going to be under so much pressure from Klusman just behind. Jackson, though, quarter of a second behind it. He's all over the place. Coming onto the hanger straight. Klusman's going to have a chance once again. Will Jackson defend? Because last time he didn't. He was happy just to take the outside. He's happy to take the outside once again. Klusman down the inside. Can he run his teammate slightly off the circuit? And Foggy's going to go through potentially as well. The Never Quit Racing guys may well lose a position combined. Foggy to the outside, and there's very little Jackson can do because he's boxed in between his teammate, and he's made a little bit of contact. I think they're nearly lost the car. They're still side by side. Foggy, can he finally get this move done? Get into the podium positions. Evdoka wants a piece of this as well. Will he go to the inside of both of them? I think Foggy's got it sorted, has he? No, he hasn't. Jackson's down the inside. Foggy still muscling it round the outside there, and he is going to make that move stick. Can Evdoka go through as well? Through bridge corner. 2 positions lost for Jackson in a matter of seconds.
Oh, contact
again, and he's off the circuit. Is Foggy. The pole sitter is off the track. Evdoka's gone through, and I think Jackson feels a bit guilty for that one because Brandon's now going to go through as well, unless he can fight back. It's all going on for Chris Jackson right now.
Wow, yeah. Jackson basically said to Foggy, get out of the way, and he pushed him in the grass. We'll see the steward's opinion about that after the race. And now McKnight making it 3 wide. In car number 27, passing Johnny Brandon, I think.
Yeah, Brandon's gone down 2 positions. He's behind Gantar now. What happened to Johnny Brandon there? Maybe he must have made a mistake going into turn 1. From my camera angle, I was struggling to kind of see what quite happened to Brandon here. And yeah, here it is. So I assume he just makes a mistake then going into turn 1. He just got pushed out by McKnight, didn't he? Fair and square. And Gantar thought, oh, I'm going to have a bit of this as well.
Yeah. Smart move by Brandon. He lifted a little bit and then said, okay, better lift and avoid contact that end the race prematurely. Of course, he knows every point matters. He learned his lesson last season, especially in the reverse grid. Sometimes he got involved in too much of unnecessary battles and crashes. So now sitting in P7 with Nicole Foggy right behind him. Different cars, but same team. No, go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to say Sawicki leading the race still, quarter of a second clear, but we should pay a little bit of attention to these guys. We haven't really looked at the guys outside the top 8 so far. And here is Clyde Whiting then, side by side with Greg Branch. Down the inside goes Whiting, who's gained one position. Branch up to himself.
And Johnny Brandon is in for his pit stop.
Wow. Okay. Good call, you reckon?
Well, there was a lot of traffic in front of him, so that was a good idea.
And is it now up to Klosterman? Basically, if you were Klosterman, Evdoka, Jackson, McKnight, Gantar, Ogi, and Sawicki, would you take into account what Brandon is doing into your own strategy?
If you are sitting behind another competitor and you know that a pass is not going to be easy, like you have to fight for a lot of laps to get them moved on, I think it's better if you head in the pits.
Yeah, I think that could be a good call.
I mean, the field is so bunched up that you are basically guaranteed to get out in clean air, because they are all stuck together since it's only lap 6.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see where Brandon came back out. I am being as blind as a bat. 27th position. He's only got 2 seconds up to the next car, so he's going to have to make a lot of overtakes. So despite the majority of the pack being very close up, the drivers right at the back of the field is going to be an issue for Johnny Brandon later on. Oh, sorry, well, I say later on, right now.
Yeah, he's got 1.5 seconds of to gain to get to Brogan Pickett Norris, car 019. Also another Ford, if I remember correctly. Yes, there it is. Of course, the difference in pace between Brandon and his drivers at the back of the pack is significant, but still, when you make an overtake, you lose time regardless. So we'll see if this
Klosterman and Jackson.
Yeah. They are both in. So I think there was a strategy call for the teammates to go and pit together. Also, Clyde Whiting is in. All the other guys are staying out. So now it's Wiki, Evdoka, and McKnight 1, 2, and 3.
Surely the never quit racing drivers right now are leaving themselves vulnerable, because you think if they can stay ahead of Evdoka, McKnight, and I'm not going to go through the list. There's so many competitive drivers out there. But if they kept ahead and just waited for their rivals to pit, then they're not going to lose out. But I just feel as though with the pace of Evdoka and McKnight and co, you surely with less fuel and potentially putting new tyres on right at the end of the race, they could be really dangerous, couldn't they?
Yeah, this is what I love about these races. They are short, but there's a lot of strategy play involved, and we'll see. I like the fact that we will see pit stops, but it's all bringing towards the conclusion at the end of the race. We will finally understand who got it right, as there's a car sideways and there's a big crash.
Who was that?
Buslan, yeah.
And it must have been Warmingham?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Buslan lost it by himself then, and was doing absolutely everything, and tried to get on the brakes. Well, nothing Jean-Pierre could have done that, and yet Richard Warmingham potentially out of the race unless he can get that thing to the pits. But either way, he's going to finish very far down the order. One of the club championship runners.
Yeah, the engine is gone, and he's teleporting back to the pits. So it's game over for him in this second race of the evening. As we see Gantar defending from Foggy. Battle for third position. Yeah, Evdoka is in.
So they're all pitting early. I think this is really opening up, I must say, for these three guys, because you think they've got pretty much clear air. They're fighting against each other a little bit, but apart from that, they've got clean air, they've got less fuel, and they're going to have fresher tyres at the end of the race potentially. So I think it could really work well for these drivers out here. What can Nicole Foggy do here, trying to get the move on Doman Gantar? Gantar really needs to hang on to this one. Who's going to win this race? We have absolutely no clue. Where did Evdoka come out? He came out behind Klosterman and Jackson, but ahead of Brandon, but only just. Slow pit stop actually for Evdoka. I think Evdoka He was stationary for 14 seconds compared to 10, 11, and 10 seconds from his rivals. Do you think he took new tyres?
Could be a possibility, because we know there's a swing in a racing, how much a pit stop can be, but we are talking about half a second. As we see now, Klusterman going for a pass on the 000. I think this is Skip Stevens. So, I mean, the randomness of it could be half a second, 1 second, not 4 seconds.
Just saw Brandon overtake Abdoka, I think. That's quite important, I think, for the rest of this race. I think that was down into the club chicane.
And Stevens is around. Just as the virtual leaders were coming, I think, because we see in the back Jackson, Nevdoka, and Brandon. So this time around, no one has pitted of the top runners. Lane O'Connor is in, but he is back in P16.
Yeah, I was going to compare the lap times then. So, Klusman 50.7, Sawicki 51.25. So it is a big difference. But if he gets caught up in a bit of traffic, if you're Sawicki in this situation, got a comfortable lead behind you, 2.3 seconds back to McKnight, Gantar, and Foggy. Would you just stay out as far as you possibly can? And here was Evdoka's pit stop, wasn't on the jacks then. So, oh. Evdoka's made another pit stop then.
Oh, maybe to do a fast repair. I don't think he has, with how much that pit went, the first pit, I don't think he is under-fueled the car. So maybe he was, but I don't remember seeing him having any kind of heavy hit with another competitor. So this is very, very strange.
So here was maybe what happened. Here was the move from Brandon then, that I was going on about. No contact here. Very, very odd for Michael Evdoka. Must have been some kind of fuel issue. But he had such a long stop initially, I don't know what went on there. Klusman still making his way up through the field. He's looking very, very strong for this race 2 victory at the moment. He's got the pace. I doubted him. I shouldn't have doubted him. But Klusman driving absolutely superbly right now. What is his lap time going to be? Anything in the 50s is really strong. 50.43. Second faster than the leader. He's going to be way clear when Sawicki comes into the pit. What Sawicki's just got to hope for is more mistakes like that from Tony Klusman. And then he might stand a chance.
Yeah, Borges also in the grass. Ooh, very risky pass there for Klusterman. He made it. He needed to make the pass to avoid losing precious time. Here's the leader. Here's McKnight, Gantar, Foggy, top 4. 2 seconds between the 4 guys here as Gantar goes for a pass on McKnight.
McKnight has been holding these guys up a bit. Foggy, of course, with that tap earlier on, you wonder where he would have been, because he was fighting for the race victory. Instead, he's fighting for 3rd place at the moment and likely going to be running in 6th place later on once all the pit stops sort themselves out. Will any of these guys pit this time? No, they won't. Foggy having a tough day currently, not a great first race, finished in P7, got the pole for this race, but then a poor start for him, really relinquished his control of this potential control of this race. And since then, he's got caught up in a bit of an incident, got tapped round by Jackson, and that's put him at the back of this little battle. needs to make these overtakes on track, does Nicole Poggi.
Yeah, we see the back of his car has got a little bit of damage, but it should be okay. Just some cosmetic damage for him. Of course, the most important thing is the time he lost by going into the gravel after that contact. And yeah, McKnight holding his own. He's been proven last season, I remember, a very difficult driver to pass.
So here is Bogotayev closing in on Peter Bingham currently 7th and 8th. Bingham up 10 places from where he started. He's second out of the club drivers at the moment. Three and a half seconds up to Anthony Woodward, who's the top club driver. Of course, these guys have still got to make their next pit stop. But expect that, well, it could be really anywhere in the first 22 laps of this event. The fuel goes very far in this event, and so it shouldn't be an issue. Quite a lot of variability in the strategy out there.
So Wiki's in. So is McKnight, so is Foggy.
Wow, okay, so Gantar staying out longest of all. Let's see what Sawicki, McKnight and Poggi can do. Well, where will they come out in respect to their rivals, the Never Quit Racing drivers? Also Johnny Brandon as well, who's been very close onto the tail of Chris Jackson in the past lap or so.
Oh, Foggy missed his stop. Missed his pit stall, I should say.
Sawicki's away, McKnight's away, and Poggi's still stationary. Frustrating for Nicole Poggi. He's going to be way behind. Now, where are these guys in comparison? I think they're behind. No! Sawicki and McKnight ahead of Jackson and Brandon. And comfortably. I must say, I'm shocked by that.
Wow.
Because they had, well, yeah, they had good pace, I think. Low 51s, whilst Sawicki was doing mid 51s. Well, it does mean that Tony Klusterman has got the net race lead unless Gantar can pull something out of the hat. But yeah, very surprised by that.
It is Tony Klusterman sitting in P9 at the moment. All the guys in front of him have yet to stop. As Raul Ruiz goes for a little time in the grass there.
Yeah, Chris Jackson will go through, Johnny Brandon will go through, and just behind will be Nicole Foggy, who, so many frustrations for Foggy today. Qualifying wasn't good, that ruined his race one, and then he got pole position for this race, got a poor start, dropped a few places, then got nudged around by Jackson, lost a few more places, and then the going too far in his pit stall, and that's cost him potentially 2 positions, and they aren't exactly going to be easy positions to gain because Foggy and Jackson are incredibly quick drivers.
Bogotayev is in. So Klusterman gains another position. So does Sawicki, of course. And McKnight and Jackson and Johnny Brandon.
Also gaining positions is Michael Abdoka. 2 pit stops for him already today. That second pit stop was 4.45 seconds, so must have literally been like a couple of litres of fuel. So maybe he spotted it early that he wasn't going to make it to the end of the race, and Brandon ahead of Jackson. He's made the move. Johnny Brandon, that could be really crucial. And here it was. I just got onto the Astro grass, wasn't it?
Yeah. What I don't understand is that Evdoka had a very, very long stop in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about. What was he doing for all that time? Yeah, he could still get... it's difficult to tell. I think he might still be able to get top 10. Good Michael Abdoka, because he's not that far behind the front runner. He's only he is 23 seconds off Foggy, so that's about, he's lost 25 seconds because of that extra pit stop. He could maybe still finish kind of best of the rest in 9th or 10th, fights with Talyancic and Woodward maybe at the end of the race. Gantar still staying out, and look at that time, Marco, a 50.59 from Doman Gantar. That's in comparison to, that's in comparison to Klusman 50.6, so Wiki 50.57. So they're all really evenly matched now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Foggy clipping the grass slightly, trying to gain an advantage on Jackson, and now a moment for car 066. Let's see if he tries it. I don't think so, but he's going to have a good run, I think, going into the hangar straight, trying to pass car number 11, Chris Jackson. The drivers trying to use all the track they can, and even a little bit more. Of
So
course, yeah.
So
Is I think their second round between these two guys.
yeah, didn't end well last time. Let's see if Jackson is a little bit kind to him, and he did leave his rival plenty of space there. Has he got any response, Jackson? No, he doesn't. So Foggy makes up that position, and he could lose the rear here, and he did lose the rear, but kept hold of it just about. Not making it easy for himself, is he, Nicole Foggy? And that very aggressive driving style, which I haven't really spotted in previous rounds. Today, though, he's been all over the place and made a couple of mistakes as well, and it's cost him potentially a couple of podiums.
Absolutely, yeah. I wasn't expecting this. Of course, Foggy is one of the favorites to win a championship, but today has not been a good day for him.
Wow.
Gary Croft skating in the grass. That corner cut out a lot of people, and luckily, like many others, he went into the grass, back onto the track, but no one was there to hit him. So just a little trip in the fields and back on the racing surface once again.
Yeah, that was actually good defense from Pete Bingham and Jose Borges as well. Really good defense from them, leaving plenty of room for the car skidding across the grass on the inside. Awesome battle actually from about 15th to and round. Brenton O'Brien, can he hang on though against Lane O'Connor? O'Brien, he's going to lose the rear again. O'Connor, I don't know where he's going there. He's going off to Narnia clearly, and just about gets back on the racing line eventually. And O'Brien somehow hangs on to that position.
Lap 15 right now. Gantar, Talyancic, Woodward and Morejon are still out. They still have to do their mandatory pit stop. And I tell you what, not a lot of time left. 9 laps to go.
Just looking at the battles for the front few positions, which ones could perhaps brew a little bit warmer? I don't know if that saying makes sense. But McKnight, Brandon closing in on McKnight, I think 2 seconds between them two. McKnight 2.5 seconds off Sawicki. Sawicki, I keep on complimenting Sawicki. He's just driving so well, isn't he? He could get a second place out there. And on that last lap though, fastest of all, Doman Gantar. I don't know if this is going to be a late surge for Gantar. He's got a lot to do, but I think he feels as though he can still get a podium from this position.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, he's going the other way in comparison to all the other drivers with his strategy. He's staying out as long as possible. I don't think it's possible to get... I mean, you have to stop. There's no way you can stretch your fuel mileage for 2 extra laps. So you will stop as late as possible. I don't think he will be able to hang on to his first position. I think it's a given he's going to lose it. But yeah, podium could be on the cars. Why not? And could be a nice final position to get in this first round back after such a long time away from the championship?
Yeah, because we should remember he missed the second half of the championship, the last 4 rounds, I think, of the championship last season. Brinton O'Brien coming past Dominic Sori there, and Lane O'Connor just behind as well. O'Brien, though, making that move stick very impressively. But yeah, of course, yeah, Gantar has lost, didn't do the last 4 rounds of last season. Otherwise, he would have maybe fought for the title. Certainly, I think would have won the final few rounds of the season, and that win has really dragged on because, hasn't got one in this series, certainly not last season. He is into the pits now, and this is the moment of truth. I doubt he's going to win today, but a podium to help his championship chances could be on the cards.
Yeah, we'll see. Now Klusterman is coming out of the final corner.
So Wiki's not far behind, is he?
No, he's there, you can see, with his red and white car. Gantar is out. Here comes McKnight.
McKnight's going to have the advantage still, but it's close. And I think Doman Gantar will be pretty happy with that. He's jumped Johnny Brandon, he's stayed ahead of Nick Foggy, and he's jumped Chris Jackson. So now he's got Jamie McKnight to overtake, and I think he took tyres as well. So I think he really stands a good chance maybe at this P3. There is Sawicki just getting past Morgan. He's 1.6 seconds off Tony Klusterman, who, after all those pit stops, is all but confirmed the race leader out there. Just needs to bring it home for a final for the final 5 or 6 laps, and he will take his first race victory of the season.
Yeah, Taljancic, Woodward and Morehon need to pit, and after that we will have the clear and complete images. Now we see a replay of Brogan Pickett Norris going around in the grass. I think just a simple 180 and back on the racing line.
Gantar's just lost a lot of time. He was right onto the tail of Jamie McKnight, but he just lost 1.3 seconds. So I think he may have lost the rear end or something, Gantar, and maybe has lost a bit of momentum out there. He's got to try to close in once again on McKnight, but also be wary of Johnny Brandon just behind him. Maybe isn't going to finish in the top 5 in this race, still looking strong for 6th position though, once Taljancic and Woodward come in. Also, of course, Michael Evdoka, he's up into P11 now, and that's he's should pass Morgan once Morgan comes out to the pits, and he could challenge Taljancic and Woodward. So really good recovery drive from Michael Evdoka. Looks as though he's going to finish in what 8th place, I think.
Yeah, between 8th and 10th position. I don't know if he's going to pass Morehon, you know? Let's see. Because he's still 10 seconds away from the start-finish line. Morehon is out of the pits right now. It's going to be a close one, I think, you know?
And Morgan, I think he's going to have the advantage. So Evdoka's got to make another move on track if he wants to get a top 10.
He's behind, he's behind.
Only got Taljancic and Woodward still to come into the pits.
So lap 18 of 24, so we are on the home stretch here at Silverstone in this first round of the KSW Painting's Euro V8 Championship. And we are putting down the foundation for a great season here in this championship. Taljancic leading, but he has to stop. Woodward second, he has to stop. So Tony Klusterman is effectively in the race lead, as we see Jamie McKnight under pressure from the returning Domen Gantar.
Yeah, hasn't taken Gantar long to make up that gap, has it? We'll compare the lap times across the line. But actually, McKnight only 1.2 seconds behind it. Gantar can get this one done quickly. Well, you know what? I don't want to say it, if Gantar didn't have these 2 cars ahead of him, he would be right in contention for the race victory, because I think you see Klosterman only 3.5 seconds up the road. Gantar, can he be decisive here? He needs to make these moves if he's going to win the championship. But Gantar just can't make it currently, and he's looking so racy. That last lap, 49.87, Klosterman 50.75. Get out of the way, Jamie. Get out of the way, Dominic, and we could have a race for the win.
Yeah, now on the Hangar Straight, Gantar doesn't seem like he's close enough to try to make a move. Maybe at the chicane, if he gets a good exit here, as Skip Stevens is in the pits and he will probably go out. Gantar maybe with a little bit of a dummy there, but yeah, not decisive enough.
I think he had the opportunity to make the move a couple of laps ago. This is where he has been getting closest to Jamie McKnight. He needs to make this move now if he wants to win this race. Doman Gantar to the inside into Abbey, and he's made the move. Surely if he can just get it stopped. He has got it stopped. Can McKnight respond? No, he can't. 1 down, 2 to go for Doman Gantar. His first race of this series could still be possible.
Great move there, as we see. In the meantime, Klosterman passed Woodward. Woodward still has to stop, but Klosterman make the quick work of him as well, and he's about to pass Taljancic as well, another driver that still has to stop, but the pace that Klosterman is showing even on these cars, and he knows that he has to push because Gantar is coming from behind.
Yeah, and this could work in favour of Gantar, because by the time that Gantar catches up to Taljancic and Woodward, they should already be into the pits. They can't go much further than this. We are, we're on lap 20 of 24, but losing time is Tony Klosterman. How close is Gantar to the back of Sawicki? He's within 1 second. And he's within 3 seconds now of Tony Klosterman. Now, can Klosterman get this move done on Taljancic into Stowe Corner? It doesn't look like he is going to be able to. He's 4 tenths behind coming down the Hangar Straight. And he's going to have to wait in behind. He can't wait for a whole lot longer though. Can he make it into club? He should be okay, Klosterman, but if he wants to confirm this race victory, he's got to get past the Season 3 champion, and the Season 1 champion does get past the Season 3 champion now.
Yeah, Michael knew he was going to pit soon, so he didn't make it too much difficult, and it was a gentleman move by Taljancic there. So Wiki coming through as well on Woodward.
Next up will be Gantar. There he goes.
Don't count Sawicki out as well for the race win.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he is going to fight. I imagine he's going to fight Gantar pretty hard. As Sawicki may as well. McKnight now making the move. So this is maybe a lap too late for Woodward, I think, coming into the pits, because he's lost so much time with drivers overtaking him, and he is going to come into the pits. I should have really pitted 1 lap earlier, but to be fair to him, maybe couldn't predict that so many cars would make the move, and we'll see if Woodward can come out ahead of Evdoka, who has made the move on Morrigan, just showing off how quick Michael Evdoka has been today.
Yeah, Evdoka coming now, is in P10, looking for P9, which should be... well, maybe he can get also past Taljancic, we'll see. Woodward is on the jacks, so taking fuelless and tire. Now he's coming out of the pits, so I think he's going to be in front of Evdoka on the track, but now Evdoka will probably make a pass.
I think Evdoka taking the other pit exit is Woodward. Is that going to cost him? No, he's got it anyway, but I think you're right. Evdoka will most likely be able to make the move. He's got a lot more momentum and will look straight away down into Stowe, I think, for an overtake. I think we should really pay a little bit, get back to the race lead though. Taljancic holding up Sawicki, holding up Gantar. Is this an opportunity for Gantar to make the move? Taljancic is almost certainly going to be in at the end of this lap. Gantar can't make the move on Sawicki yet, and he's losing touch with Klosterman. 3 seconds still. Klosterman just making his way through some lap traffic though. a chance maybe do this one for Gantar. Down the inside he goes, a little bit all over the place is Sawicki. Gantar still going to have the inside for this one, but Sawicki bends it off early. Talyancic, is he going to be in on this lap? Gantar looking every which way for a move, but he just can't make it. And if the win wasn't impossible already, I think it is now.
Yeah, but great driving here. These drivers are showing off their abilities, moving left, right, to block, to attack, to find a place to make the move. Talyancic stays out, lap 22 of 24. This should be the end of the line for Talyancic. Gantar!
He couldn't lose a position to McKnight. Oh, this would be painful to see Gantar lose a position. He's fought so hard for a podium and a shot at second place, but he's lost out. But can he respond? Talyancic still going to be holding up Sawicki, and McKnight, you can see, got a lot less grip than his rival. Doman Gantar just behind. Where is Brandon in this? He really hasn't not factored whatsoever. Race 1 winner has just not been able to keep up with those drivers today. Or at least in this second race of the evening. Foggy just behind as well with Jackson as well. Here is Evdoka trying to get the move on Woodward. That would be as good as possible as he could have hoped if he can salvage a 9th place from this. But with Woodward, with those fresh tyres, might be able to fend off the Season 4 champion. Down the inside goes Evdoka. Can he make it on Woodward? Not quite. Gonna have the outside for Club. Morgan just behind these guys. Still can't make it, Evdoka.
Okay, Talyancic should be in. If he doesn't come in, he has a bigger fuel tank than the others, I don't know.
No. Ooh. He's been quite slow in this race, Michael. Do you reckon he's gone for a no-stopper?
Well, that would be a huge achievement, and also he's being able to keep these guys behind for the entire race. Now, the attack from Sawicki. Oh, there's
side by
contact.
side, the Magnussen Beckett's. Sawicki's going to pull ahead. Can McKnight get through as well? Talyancic not giving up on the move on Sawicki. Now Gantar's going to go side by side with McKnight and go and get the slipstream perhaps from Talyancic, although he's trying to help out his own teammate, Jamie McKnight. And McKnight goes through past Talyancic, still trying to go for the move is Gantar, but he can't make it. Brandon, all of a sudden, onto the back of these guys.
Talyancic, I think, he is very close to getting out of fuel. We'll see. Amazing battle for second position. Amazing racing here.
Evdoka's lost a couple of positions, by the way, so he's had enough. But we need to pay attention to this. And could he get boxed in? Could Gantar? No, he's found the space. He's found the inside on Jamie McKnight. Can he make the move once again into the Abbey chicane? McKnight
on the
outside. Gantar still can't make the move. He's going to be on the outside into bridge, and Brandon goes through as well. Ah, Doman fighting for P2. Had a chance at the race victory. He's found himself now in P5.
Wow. And McKnight smiling
Oh,
under his helmet.
round.
Yeah. No bonnet on that car, so he wasn't the only one involved. I think one of the new drivers was involved. The Ford. Yeah. Oh. It was a misunderstanding between the drivers. It was Brogan Pickett Norris there with the Ford. And Foggy is missing part of his car. It will be a little bit slower, I think, but only one lap to go. Klusterman, Sawicki, McKnight, Brandon, Gantar very very close to Brandon, top 5, and Talyancic is going for a no-stopper. Now I don't know if that stop was mandatory or not, because if it was mandatory, it could have a disqualification at the end of the race. We'll see.
Can Gantar salvage not the position he wanted. He wanted the race victory. His strategy worked to an ace, but he could not make the moves. Can he make the moves now? Brandon holding him off. Race 1 winner, Johnny Brandon, and he might exit this race in the championship lead. I don't think he is. Tony Kliessmann's going to exit the championship with the championship lead. But this is still important for Johnny Brandon. Can he hold off his rival? This is where he's had the best chances, Domen Gantar. Maybe the outside into Abbey is the better line. He is going to try the outside, but he's not confident enough to the outside. Domen Gantar, just struggling with the race curve once again, as we saw in the first half of last season. Sawicki holding off McKnight as well. And Gantar cannot find a way through. 8.5 seconds up the road though is Tony Kliessmann. 6 race victories last season. He's going to make it 1 race victory for season 5. Tony Kliessmann wins the feature race here at Silverstone, and he'll take the championship lead going into round 2 next weekend at Okayama Shorts. Sawicki, awesome drive from him to come home in 2nd place. He's really put himself within maybe 3rd in the championship, I believe, or 4th in the championship, whichever way. It's been an awesome day for Dominic Sawicki. McKnight finished 3rd, Brandon 4th. Gantar, what a disappointing day with such potential for Domen Gantar. He ends up in 5th. Chris Jackson got Michael Taliancic right at the end, but Foggy with that spin late on, he has finished in 8th. Anthony Woodward hung off Victor Morion. Nikolai Bogotayev and Michael Abduka was in P12. So issues for a couple of the championship protagonists there, Marco, but Tony Kliessmann, couple of awesome drives. That qualifying wasn't Tony Kliessmann like. The races weren't Tony Kliessmann like either. They were better than he's ever done in the races, I think.
Yeah, great drive from Tony. At the end, he was able to manage his way through traffic and get a sizable lead, comfortable win for him. But Sawicki, McKnight, Brandon, Gantar, Jackson, they put on a great show. Too bad for Foggy for his mistake and contact. And Taliancic, wow, he managed to squeeze 2 extra laps of fuel from his car. We will see. I don't think that the stop is mandatory, so it should be okay, but we will wait official confirmation later in the day, I think. Either way, it was a remarkable achievement to get the car to the finish line and in 7th position to boot without stopping.
Yeah, I don't know, Sam, if we could just go to the finish for Michael Taliancic, because he finished 0.5 tenth behind Chris Jackson, and I just wonder if he was spluttering across the line right at the end. Yeah, here he was then. Is that Jackson just ahead? Not quite sure.
This is the final lap, begins now, I think.
Ah, right, okay.
I think, maybe.
Yeah, this is lap 24 of the race. But yeah, I think Michael may have been spluttering across the line. There he is. Yeah. Painful for Michael. Oh dear. Yeah, here it was. But I must say, Marco, I think that was the right strategy to go for.
I mean, if it's within the rules, he did an amazing job. And I think it is, because I don't remember it being a mandatory stop. I just that the fuel tank is limited and it is expected to have a stop, but not mandatory. So, once again, in any case, to squeeze 2 extra laps of fuel from a V8 supercar is a remarkable job. So, and of course, Taliancic is a very, very good driver, and he takes on P7 in the feature race. So, good for him. Hopefully, the result stands.
Yeah, hopefully. The final results for this race today are Tony Kliessmann takes the race victory. Perfect strategy from 5th on the grid. He takes his first race victory of the season. Dominic Sawicki, I think that was a 5th and a 2nd for him. What? He's just fantastic, Dominic. Well done. 2nd place in only his 2nd official meeting in this series. 6 seconds off the lead. Jimmy McKnight fantastic second race, but it wasn't a brilliant first race actually. Finished P9, a little bit off the pace, but a podium in the second race of the season. Johnny Brandon, he'll be pretty happy with a fourth because his strategy, I think, was ever so slightly off. Wasn't the smart move to pit so early, I think, but salvaged a fourth place in the end. Doman Ganser, what can be said for Doman? He really had a chance at the race victory up there. On pace, he would have certainly won, but in the end, those overtakes just struggled with once again. He ends up in 5th place with Chris Jackson in safety. Certainly struggled in that second race. Michael Taljancic unlikely to finish in 7th, with Nicole Foggy in 8th with contacts late on. Anthony Woodward, top of the club drivers for the second time today, I think. Victor Morrigan in 10th. That's a really good effort. I think that's a 13th and a 10th in his first race day of his career in this series. So really good drive from him. Nikolai Bogatyv finishes in 11th. Michael Abdok, a frustrating day for him, or a frustrating second race for him, finishes in P12 after making an extra pit stop. Jose Borges finishes in 13th. Then it's Gary Croft, Clyde Whiting, Vincent O'Brien, Dominic Sori, Peter Bingham, Raul Ruiz, Greg Branch, Kip Stevens, David Fielder, Samuel Busen, Ronald Moons, Brogan Pickett Norris, Lane O'Connor, Bill Switzer, Michael Frost, JP Busalan, and Richard Warmium. Not a great day for him, rounding out the field. Have got a few drivers up for interviews. Who are we gonna go for? I think we should go for Johnny Brandon, race 1 winner. Hiya Johnny, and that race 1, perfect drive, wasn't it? It was looked easy for you, you know.
It's never easy in this car, especially when you change cars a week before the season starts. Pole position, race 1 victory for the Ford. You know, unbelievable, great stuff.
Yeah, Marco was quite excited about your Ford. He was rooting for you for the entire day. Why did you change to the Ford at the last moment?
To be honest, I watched the media day broadcast and saw just Holden after Holden. I think I might have even heard Marco's comment, so that might have had something to do with it. So, yeah, just thought let's give it a go, and yeah, brilliant. Can't believe it.
And did you get any instant points in that first race?
Nope. No instant points.
Marco said that you get no instant points in the Ford. So yeah, good call in the end there, Johnny. And that second race, a little bit more difficult for you. You went for the early pit stop, and in the end, it just didn't quite work out. Was that due to maybe your pace, or was there just too many incidents with other drivers? You had to make a lot of overtakes up there.
Yeah, I was trying to be too cautious in the second race at the start, and just letting it kick off in front of me, trying to be really cautious, and I just got jumped, and I was like, oh no, okay, and I was umming and ahhing as to what to do. I just thought, let me get out of it, but it didn't really work out for me, especially when I got caught behind Chris. I was flying at that point, and you know, he's entitled to do what he did. We're racing. He did a great job in front of me, staying there on the new tyres. I just couldn't get around him. And that was it. I just killed my tyres by that point. So I was chuffed to bits to pick up the pieces at the end, to be honest, and grab fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little word for the series. Last season was tough to take the title. I think this season is going to be even tougher. The top, consistently out there, we had chains of the top 9. It was absolutely insane. At least 9 drivers could, you know, win this championship. It's quite incredible. You simply cannot call it at this stage.
It's great to see, isn't it? More competitive than ever. Loads of drivers doing really well. Jamie McKnight did really well. Dominic Sawicki, fantastic drive in that second race. Mike Taljancic, I don't know how much practice those guys put in, but they're on the pace. You know, it's hopefully everyone sticks around and it's like this every week, because that's what we all want. Great racing like that. And it was, you know, super clean racing from everyone from what I saw, and just thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
The usual people, you guys for doing a great broadcast, and all the series organisers for getting it all back up and running and attracting a nice big grid. It's great stuff. And obviously my teammates and one last thing, just to dedicate that first win of the series to Fred Bingham, who's Pete's dad, who sadly passed away recently. So we'll dedicate the first pole and first win in the Ford to Mr. Fred Bingham.
Yeah,
Over.
absolutely. Thanks for that.
Thanks,
for that,
guys.
Johnny. Yeah, see you next week. Sorry, 2 weeks.
See you then.
Next up, we will have Tony Klusterman, I think. Tony, awesome race 2 there. Your strategy worked out. Your race start worked out. It was, I'd say, a perfect drive.
It was a good drive for sure. It was very difficult out there today. The competition level for the series is really, really ramped up, and I'm very pleased. If I can, we desperately wanted to get a win today for Pete Bingham's father, Fred. We were racing with heavy hearts, and it was good to get that one out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And in qualifying, you are one of the best, well, in my opinion, probably the best qualifier out there. Starting though down in 5th position, I thought, and in the race you showed a lot of pace. Did you make a mistake in that qualifying lap, or was that all you had to offer?
No, that was a terrible effort on qualifying. In practice, I was down in the 49s easy, so just wasn't able to put one together. Made too many mistakes, and paid the price. 5th place to start was it was difficult, very difficult to pass here. Yeah,
absolutely. We saw overtaking incredibly difficult in the BSRTC back on Thursday. And yeah, despite, of course, you top 9 or so were so evenly matched on pace, but there were really few overtakes, and particularly Doman near the end of that race. I don't know if you were watching, but he had a chance at beating you potentially, but he just couldn't make the moves on the drivers behind. Why was it so difficult to overtake?
This car gets a little bit unstable when it gets behind another car, and I just find it very difficult. In fact, in the first race, we were very close, Michael Boca and Johnny Brandon and I, and the only way I think to have completed a pass was to actually put the bumper to him, and frankly it's too early in the season to make very many enemies, so we'll take the 3rd.
But exiting this round, I don't know if you're going to have the title lead. I think you are, because you had a good first race, didn't you? 3rd place. Johnny got the bonus points in that first race, but you outscored him quite heavily in that second race. Every point matters out there, doesn't it now? Because with so many rivals out there, you simply cannot afford a poor round.
I agree with you 100% there, and Johnny's very good at getting all those bonus points. I'm going to have to work on that aspect of my game.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Our team, Never Quit Racing and Sim Ability. We've got a bigger team, as I mentioned last week. So good to see Ant Woodward with a 10th place finish. Chris, I think, nipped a mic at the line there for a 6th. So that was good to see. And Pete and Clyde also had a good finishing in the top half. So very happy. Thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks, Tony, and best of luck in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much.
We'll get Dominic Sawicki in now. And Dominic, I've been praising you all through today. This is only your 2nd official meeting, I think, and an awesome drive. 5th and a 2nd, I think. Well done.
Yeah, I've been told you are cheering. Thank you.
But yeah, how did you do it out there? How have you did you do quite a bit of testing for this event? Because certainly you seem to have improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I did some testing, especially on the official V8, because there is Silverstone too, so I could split the practice a bit on those 2 series. And first of all, I need to I've been told by Tony that he made the whole race on the same set of tires, which is crazy. My tires at the end of every stint were just done, so I don't know how these guys are racing like that. That's very crazy. I need to learn the secrets of tire saving.
Yeah, absolutely. But that second race, we saw a lot of different strategies up there. Do you think you nailed the strategy in that second race?
Yeah, I think my strategy was pretty good. My tires were going down pretty quick, so I did like 11 laps on one set and then changed to the other. That was the right call. Yeah, but Tony was just fantastic of his pace, and I'm really lucky with this second place. I'm really happy with this place because yeah, it was close back. On the final couple of laps.
Yeah, and we also saw you get a couple of really good race starts, I think, in the first race. And in fact, in both races, we saw you get past Nicole Foggy early on. Is that something you necessarily have to work on? Because we saw a few drivers really struggling with that element, but you found it very simple.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. It's quite similar to, for example, Porsche 911 Cup. And this series also with a standing start, so I don't really feel that to be difficult. It's just easy. Maybe it's because I'm racing quite a lot, the official series and here the Euro Leagues, so I can start the race quite many times. So maybe this is because of that.
Yeah, definitely. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Thank you, especially for my team, GTL VRT, and the guys who were watching and cheering. Thanks for them. Thank you for the to organizers for the launching this new season. Very good job by the organizers, and thank you guys for the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks, mate, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time. Who shall we have next? For Chris Jackson or Michael Talianchi? We'll speak to both, but first off, I think we'll get Chris Jackson in here. And Chris, in the end, pretty good day for you. I don't know how you felt about that first race, finishing in 4th position. We saw you let your teammate pass, Tony. Did you? You know, it's early on in the season. I'm sure you're not going to regret letting him pass. But does he owe you one after that?
No, I cooked my tires, and knowing here that it takes a bit of time to ease them up, and I knew that if I was going to push through those chicanes there too wide with him, we were just going to lose the 2 guys in front. So I thought back out of it and see if I can get in behind them once the tires cooled down a bit, which I was able to do. But then both Tony or I couldn't get past Avdaka. So I was happy with the first race, not so happy with the second. I cooked the tires again, chasing Dom. He did a great job, and I was just chasing rubber basically for the rest of the race. Finally, once Foggy and company got by me, I was able to kind of find some pace as the tires cooled down a bit, but unfortunate there, but happy where I ended up. So
yeah, and is that tire overheating something that you've encountered before, or are you going to have to try to manage that now in preparation for Okayama in 2 weeks' time?
I found it more severe here. I don't think I did enough practice with a full weight, so I really noticed that was the hardest part. It was really holding up Johnny Brendan and Foggy for a bit, and it worked out for Tony and company, but it's something I'm going to have to watch out for and just kind of hit my markers rather than blocking them. So
yeah, and next time at Okayama Shorts, it's a unique circuit, a circuit that not too many drivers would have encountered. There are a lot of we've done a lot of laps around the full Okayama circuit, of course. The super sprints again, we saw you get ever so slightly close to a race victory at the super sprint at Oran Park. Do you think those types of events really favour you?
I think our team's doing a really good job with setups, and those races are all about qualifying. Tony's a great benchmark to be within a 10th of, and I've been able to do that recently. So if I can keep working on that, get a good quali setup, you can pretty much run with almost a quali for the race. So just a bit more fuel. So hoping we can work on that and put something well together.
Yeah, it would be great to see. And yeah, before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Always to my wife and family. You guys doing a great job, and to NQR and Simability. Cheers.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks' time. And the final driver I think we're going to talk to is Michael Taliancic, and Michael, well done out there. You did the no stopper. We think it's within the rules. Yeah, well done out there.
I'll be honest, I don't really know if it was within the rules, but I just wanted to give it a go. I'm just turned up for a bit of fun. If I get disqualified, so be it.
Well, either way, it was an awesome effort, and I must say, I think it was the right strategy, and you must have been, I assume you were pretty much sorted with that straight away, like during testing. Have you been trying that out much?
Yeah, I was about 15 minutes before the race. I started practicing fuel saving, and I was like just off the numbers to make it, so I was just decided to commit to it and see how it went. I'm a little bit off pace at this track at the moment, not where I'd like to be, so I thought I'd just try something different to try and get to the front.
Yeah, well, you did end up ahead of Nicole Poggi and very nearly Chris Jackson, but we saw you splutting across the line on that last lap. Oh, it must have been really, really sad, because you almost pulled it off to absolute perfection, but missing out by half a tenth there must have been agonising.
To be honest, I wanted to pull it off by a lot more than that. I wanted to get myself up onto the podium at least, but either way, I'm happy that I made it and had a bit of fun. A little bit tired at the moment.
Yeah, don't blame me. And are you hoping to do the rest of the season?
I'm going to see for now, but I'm hoping to try and make as many rounds as I can and see where I go from there. It's been a while since I've been racing.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, before we let go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Just you guys and the organisers for running the event. It's good fun to be here.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And yeah, hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time.
Cool. See you, mate.
Have got one more interview. We got Jamie McKnight with us, and Jamie, well done out there. That was a really good effort to get that P3 in the end. One of your best results, I think, in this series. So yeah, really well done.
Yeah, g'day guys. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that race. It was good to be up front with the quick guys and trying to hold my own from behind, but also attack whoever was in front of me. So yeah, considering it's 5:30 in the morning over here, I was real happy with that effort, and it was great to put it on the podium from the first race weekend with Evolution Racing Team.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say Evolution Sim Racing have kind of improved your performance at all? Do you think you've kind of unlocked that extra couple of tenths?
It's certainly on its way. Having the knowledge and the setup data these guys have got really made a difference today. I had a set coming into tonight or this morning that wasn't too bad, but I at the last minute I got a set off Ethan Greg Galt, and when I put it in, I went half a second faster in qualifying, so it definitely helped. And just having that many guys with that much knowledge, and they're a really well bonded team. Everybody wants to push everyone forward in practice, so it's definitely helping, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And in that second race, early on, maybe you didn't necessarily have the best pace of all. You were not really closing in on Dominic at all, but at the end of the event, you were really closing in very nicely and very nearly managed to get the overtake. Do you think you were protecting your tyres better than many of your rivals?
Yeah, I was definitely trying to fuel save as much as I can to make my pit stop shorter, and I was trying to look after the tyres. But when I pitted, I did take tyres and I changed the pressures. I lowered them one click, and when I came out of the pits, I felt like I was on rails. So I've learned something for next time. Probably should have started with those pressures, but in the end, I think I got the race fastest lap, which is a first for me in V8 ESC. So got a 1:49.949, so I was pretty happy with that. A lot faster than I went in qualifying. So yeah, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it, and it was super good to battle with those guys. Congratulations to Tony and Dom. Great race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, next time will be Okayama Short, the Super Sprints. There's a few drivers in this series who are awaiting a race victory. I think you are one of them. And you must be feeling pretty confident going into that. 3 chances at it. Maybe get a little bit lucky with the reverse wheel, and you could be right in the firing line.
Yeah, well, Okayama is one of those funny little tracks where I had my very first official victory in the V8 Supercar and Formula Renault, so I quite like the place. So if you're ever going to put £5 on me, might be the track to do it.
Well, yeah, we'll be certainly hoping that you can get the race victory next time. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank obviously my new team, Evolution Racing Team, Logitech for their wonderful sponsorship, and also Joel Real Timing, who also sponsor us, and especially you guys for always putting on a great broadcast and making us drivers feel like we're sort of important. So I really appreciate it, guys. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And yeah, see you in two weeks' time.
See you, Nakayama.
So Marco, race 1 of the season finished. We didn't see a whole lot of wheel-to-wheel action out there. We saw quite a bit, but there wasn't a massive amount of overtaking. We've already heard how difficult it was, but what has confirmed about this race is it's going to be super close for the championship, and going into every single round, we're not going to know who's going to take the race victory.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a lot more bumper-to-bumper action at Okayama, shorter track, and you really need to push your way through other cars to make a pass there, because in the shorter configuration, basically the only clear-cut passing opportunity is turn 1. So it's going to be 3 shorter races, so the drivers will have less time to make up positions to do the reverses. Today was a strategic battle more than that, and it was a good racing, but I'm expecting even more excitement and different winners in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that should be absolutely awesome. Okayama short, 3 sprint races, so many drivers who can win out there, and yeah, what more would you want on a Saturday evening? That will be coming to you in a fortnight's time at the same time, 18:15 GMT. Also got tomorrow we've got the World Championship, just the Grand Prix series, and that should be that'll be me and Marco and Sam, I think, covering that one. I think that's at Imola tomorrow, and then later on Sunday will be the BSR Grand Tour for round 4 of the championship, and then we've also got the World GT on Monday and the BSR events as well on Tuesday and Thursday, and the Rick Tech Sports Car Series Monday night. But from me and from Marco and from Sam, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time.